Hello Aquarius, Aquarius rising, and Aquarius moon people. This is your astrological horoscope for the month of November 2016. And if you haven't noticed, that's just my way of saying that you should probably check out your rising and your moon signs always. Now, quick reminder for you guys who maybe don't know, or you are new to this channel, weekly horoscopes now include astrology. The first half of each weekly horoscope talks about the astrology of that week, in particular to major aspects on a day-to-day kind of basis, not so much the big seasonal changes that get covered in a monthly horoscope, so you definitely want to come back and check those out. And of course, if you would like a more personal reading on your unique situation, your unique intentions, or your personal chart, you can always schedule an appointment with me or order a downloadable video file at my website, integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on with your chart this month? Well, right off the bat, on the 9th, we've got Mars moving into your sign, the planet of action and energy, into your first house. And this is definitely going to be throwing in a bit more of an assertive, reining people in, sort of kick some ass kind of energy, to be perfectly honest. Because Mars, when it's in your sign, it does kind of bring that wild card blessing the way that any planet would, but it does kind of make you more aggressive about it. And nothing is really done with a light touch, so we want to definitely be more conscious about it. However, with Mars in your sign, you can also take advantage of this energy to indulge in more of the primal. And this could be a great month for those of you that are looking to perhaps extricate or expand on maybe some personal talents when it comes to, the way you handle your physicality, whether it's in athletics or in the bedroom. And this is also a time to be using some of the financial benefits of Mars when it comes to your creative practice. Get more aggressive about your creativity. People are going to be actually much more interested in you with Mars, because Mars kind of gives us more of that leadership vibe. It gives us more of an attractive leadership role. And you're going to be noticing that even at work and in your social doings, people are going to sort of promote you officially and unofficially into those leadership and authority roles, even if you might not be asking for them directly. And this is going to happen again on a voluntary and involuntary basis all this month and even into early December. On the 11th, we've got Venus moving into your 12th house. This is your hidden zone. This is the area that talks about behind closed doors, your private life. And when Venus is going into your private life, this is definitely a time to be focusing a lot of your attention on including people in more of, your private self, what you don't always show in the everyday, what you want to bring out, what you think people need to sort of recognize about you as a person. It's also an optimal time for those of you who maybe have been carrying a torch for somebody to let those feelings be known. Sometimes even with Venus in the 12th house, you may find out that it's an opportunity to get in on taking advantage of possibly a romantic opportunity coming from somebody who has a secret crush on you. And this, from the 11th going on through the 12th, we're going to be kind of having those conversations, of course, but again, it's also with people who like you for the you underneath, not the disposition that you carry outward, not even your outward appearance or your outward image in a literal or figurative sense. People are definitely more attracted to what's going on in the inner machinations of your mind. And some of you may even begin some kind of discreet or maybe even, again, private dating scenario that's not ready to really come out in the open just yet, but it will actually be sweet, kind of having that nice little hideaway. On the 12th of the month, we've got another trend with Mercury, the planet of communications and haste, moving into your 11th house, Sagittarius, the place that rules your friendships and social networking. And because Mercury will be playing with both Mars and Saturn during this transit, this is going to really allow you to start working on how to cultivate the ideal social group, the ideal platonic social support system. And this is all about, again, making sure that we are especially with that Venus in the 12th house, really able to bond over true core values with people. We're talking about getting away from alliances of convenience, getting away from the reasons that we hang out, and really focusing on true rapport. This is a very popularizing aspect, and this will actually put you in a lot of demand. Your schedule's going to be very hectic, and sometimes we may be put in a position where it's like we have to choose between certain kinds of friendship groups. I'll be honest, Aquarius, there will be a point later on this month where you will actually have to settle a clique war over you. On the 14th, we also have the full moon in Taurus, in your 4th house of home and family. And full moons in the 4th house can be very strong for those who are looking to perhaps pull up anchor and move, if you are looking to relocate, or if you have been trying to perhaps find an opportunity to purchase a new home, or to close on a property, or to make some kind of substantial investment you know where it's going to pay off. We've got that coming to culmination between the 14th and the 28th of this month. But be careful during a full moon as well, because sometimes tensions can rise in family affairs and in household affairs. So be very ginger when it comes to communications that you have with your blood relatives especially. The 4th house talks about your roots, so either the home you grew up in, or the family you grew up in, or your blood relatives. This is really where a lot of this energy is going to be heavily focused. And this may bring up some issues that just need to simply be cleared, but sometimes when people are a little bit too sensitive, or they've coddled themselves for far too long, they might not necessarily be as apt or willing to work on this when they should. So again, be very ginger, but just be prepared. This is all for the constructive. On the 19th, we have Neptune, the planet of illusions, but also inspiration, love, but also fantasy, moving direct in your earned income sector. And with Neptune retrograde over the last 5 months, you've been really kind of churning over whether or not you feel like the place that you are working, or maybe the place that you would like to work, is the permanent solution. Okay, or is a place you'd like to stay in for longer term. Because Neptune can give us either clear sight and X-ray goggles when it's retrograde, or it can inspire us to stay and make some immediate shifts when it's direct, but it's also important to pay attention to where we may accidentally be playing it too safe with our career or with our work choices. And when Neptune goes direct, it's time to think a lot more about, okay, well, where have I been playing it too safe? Where have I been playing it by rules, that I don't want to follow? Where have I been sort of choosing a career or work path based on what I was promised to be, maybe I guess you could say practical or financial success, but I haven't even cultivated an understanding of what my passion is. Once Neptune goes direct, we're going to be indulging more of that passion, or at least helping you figure that out. And astrology can't really tell you what you are passionate about. You can't bypass your own soul searching. But with Neptune going direct, we've basically got you being tantalized to pay attention. Well, okay, if I'm passionate about my work, maybe I'd be more passionate about a different place. Or maybe there's something that needs to be jazzed up about the career or the work situation I'm in, or would like to be in order to make it more compatible. But this is definitely where the next 5 months are going to be taking us. Paying attention to where we may have, played it a bit too safe to the point where we could be feeling a bit stagnated. On the 21st, we do have the Sun moving into your 11th house of friendships and social networking. And again, we're talking about you being in huge social demand. And remember what I said earlier in this video, where I said there might be some issues going on with some strife with friends due to the Mars and Saturn play with Mercury in this area. The Sun is going to be basically healing and clearing a lot of that towards the end of this month, but it is going to also mean you, Aquarius, are the star of the show here. You are the prize being fought over. You are the prize to be won. And so the Sun is saying it's time for the prize to start speaking up. With the sun in your 11th house, it's really an important time to see where, we actually can get the most out of our relationships with people we are truly compatible with. And the more personal we get, the better. It's time to start focusing on the individual, not the group, when it comes to our friendships. Also, later on the 29th, we've got a new moon in this area, which actually does bring an opportunity for a lot of you Aquarian people to perhaps even get a new best friend, or a new best friend group, whether it's, forming a new one out of a group or a culture that you already have, or an addition to what you already have. Again, it's a very popular time, and do not discount or poo-poo discussions of platonic friendships. Those are the ones that are with us the most. They're the family that we choose. They're there before, and hopefully not, but sometimes if there's an after a romantic relationship, it's the friends that are always there. And nowadays, it's so important to pay attention to where that village, to where that support group gets the love and nourishing it deserves. Because the more individualistic and the more instant gratification oriented our culture becomes, the less true support we have, which means the more undue pressure is put on everything else to be everything. So you've got at least a lot of that for yourself. Maybe the rest of us could take a lesson from what you're going to go through this month, but it is all for the best. So that is your forecast, Aquarius. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.